أغلى أغلى لحظات الإنسان حين يعيش.
Peace everyone, this is Zamira with the Beleza Artistica channel, and today I wanted to pick up where I left off with the How I Got Started series, which would be the third part. This would be the third part of that three-part series, and in this video I'm going to talk about basically what I did after I came back from Trinidad and Tobago. So actually, today, 3 years ago, I was in Trinidad and Tobago. Today is November 11th, 2015. And when I was in Trinidad and Tobago, it was November 11th, 2012. A lot has changed for me in those 3 years. So this is a special video for me. I had originally shot the third video a few months ago, I think back in August when I shot all the rest of the videos, but I didn't quite like the way it came out, and then stuff started happening, and then I just didn't get to it until now. And it's been a while since you guys have seen me doing a lot of things on Instagram and YouTube and my Facebook and everything, and there's a lot of reasons for that. Like, my kids started going to school, and that was different for me because I was homeschooling my kids. And as some of you may know, if you follow me on Instagram, I had mentioned how my mom was going through cancer. She had stage 3B cervical cancer. But she's all done with her treatments. She's done with the chemo. She's done with the radiation. And as far as they can tell, the cancer is gone. So that was a big thing in my life that took a lot of my time and my effort, because I wanted to help her. I wanted to, make sure she was doing all right. And as you could see, I'm in a new room today. This is just my temporary room for a little while, and so that's another change that has also happened. Okay, so now that you know what I've been doing and all that stuff, we can get back to the original point of this video, which is the How I Got Started, the third part of the series. So when I got back from Trinidad and Tobago, I had some henna cones that I had bought, but I guess the trip, it had such an effect on me to try new things and to break out of my comfort zone. I just said, you know what, now's the time. Let me just buy this box of henna cones. It had about like 10 pre-made henna cones in it. And that's a lot of henna to have when you don't really even know what to do with it, or to, I didn't know how to make designs or what to start with or anything. So that's when I went on YouTube and I just typed in henna and I just started looking at videos. I stumbled across some really good YouTube channels, which was Freehand Mehendi and Henna by Heather and a few others that I just can't remember right now, but those were the ones that I kept going back to for more and more information, because they had a lot of information on their channels about henna and, stuff for beginners and how to even make your own henna paste. So after watching a number of these videos, I started to feel like my artistic abilities start coming back to me, start like flowing back into my veins, because I talked previous about how my artistic abilities seem to have had ceased at some point in time, and no matter what I did, I just couldn't, get it back, and I felt like it was lost forever. But after watching these videos and, watching them do the henna, something just sparked inside of me, some inspiration. And when I first started doing henna, it was so hard because the henna cones that I had, the pre-made henna cones that I had bought in Trinidad and Tobago, they were very hard to work with. But I was so determined, and I just felt like maybe it's just because my hand muscles aren't strong enough or something, because I had no idea of what henna was supposed to look like, how it was supposed to feel, how it was supposed to flow out of the cones. So I had nothing to go on, so I just thought it was me, and I just kept going and working with these henna cones despite the pain, because some of those cones were so dry, and at the time I didn't know that, but some of these cones were just so dry that I would be really struggling, like shaking. My hand would be shaking trying to do these designs. And I thought, I will never be able to, do any of these beautiful designs that I'm seeing all these people doing on YouTube. I just thought it was impossible. But I just kept going with it. I had just some drive within me was like, you're gonna get this, you're gonna do this, and you're not gonna let this stop you. So after a while, I just looked at it like, it's just, me doing hand exercises, and no pain, no gain, stuff like that. Those were the mottos that helped me to get through that. And eventually, I decided to start making the henna cones myself, because I just wanted to see, maybe it's my henna, because after watching, some of the channels, and they would talk about how, pre-made henna cones are bad, and I was like, well, great, I just bought all these henna cones. What am I supposed to do with them now, But I was like, something inside me was just like, just try it. Just try to make, the henna paste and the henna cones yourself. Like, it looks difficult, but you could do it. Just get past that mental block. And when I started making my own henna paste, it was so great. Like, the smell was beautiful, the texture was beautiful, and I felt like, I just felt like a whole world of opportunity had opened up for me at that point. So that gave me new life. I was like, yes, I can make, finally I feel like I can make these designs that they're making, like, with all the details and all of that without my hand hurting. This is amazing. So that brings me back to, what do I do with the other henna cones that I had bought in Trinidad and Tobago, the pre-made henna cones that could have even had chemicals in them for all I know. It didn't smell good, it didn't work well, so I was like, what should I do with this stuff, because I don't want to waste it, So that's when I had stumbled upon another henna artist on YouTube. Her channel is called Henna Souk, and I saw her putting henna on boxes. And I was like, okay, now I know what I could do with that bad henna paste. So what I ended up doing is I took that bad henna paste, I mixed it up with some lemon juice, and then I put it into new cones. And then I started applying it to wooden boxes that I had gotten from craft stores. And I really actually loved doing that. It was so fun to me to put henna on wood. I've always liked working with wood pieces, like little wooden boxes, little wooden dressers, stuff like that. That was always something that I liked to do. But putting henna on it, like a new passion that had grown and was still growing and developing at that time, it was like two things that I loved coming together at once. It was beautiful. And at the time when I was, still new with this, still playing around with henna and doing designs on my skin and putting them on the boxes, like somewhere down the line, I just kind of felt like, what else can I do with this? What's the future for this with me and my new passion? And in the very, very beginnings, when I felt like this was a growing passion, a developing passion, I started a website after I had found the name that I wanted to use. If I had ever wanted to start a business or whatever, I came up with the name Beleza Artística. I had went through so many names, so many different variations, so many different languages before I came to Beleza Artística, which it means artistic beauty in Portuguese. And some of you may be wondering, why Portuguese? Well, that's because my grandmother was Portuguese, and I was very close to her. She taught me a lot about art when I was a kid. One of the main reasons why I wanted to choose Portuguese was because my grandmother growing up, her father and her mother, they wouldn't speak Portuguese to her or her siblings, because when my great-grandfather came here to America from Portugal, he didn't know any English, and people made fun of him. So he felt from that moment on that whenever he had kids, that he wasn't going to teach them Portuguese because he didn't want them to be made fun of. So in turn, my grandmother and her siblings only knew a few words in Portuguese here and there, but they never really got to learn how to speak the language fluently. And I felt sad about that because, you know, that's some heritage lost, I feel, for the descendants, you know, because then now we don't know the language as well. And I just felt like it was a good way to remember her and to honor her and to acknowledge one part of my heritage. I had never intended to be like a henna artist that did henna designs for other people as body art. I never wanted to do that in the beginning. And even at a point, one of my friends contacted me through Facebook, and she was saying that she heard that I did henna, and she was wondering if I could do some henna for her at her engagement party. And at first I felt very reluctant to do it because I felt really new. I had just learned how to make my own henna paste, and I felt like, oh man, I never wanted to do henna for other people because that's a lot of pressure, you know what I mean? But I was like, something inside of me just said, just do it, just go and face your fears and, you know, break free from that, you know what I mean? Because what I felt like was the motto from the trip to Trinidad and Tobago was try new things, don't be afraid of failure, just, you know, try your best and go with it and just do it from the heart, you know what I mean? So I accepted her request and I drove to her house. I got lost a little bit on the way, but eventually I got there, and I was so nervous. I was so very nervous. So in total, I did 4 people. It took me about 4 or 5 hours to do just some simple stuff that nowadays it wouldn't take me even that long to do it. But I was just trying to get it right. I was trying to get it, you know, perfect. And they were very encouraging. That really helped me to boost my confidence level a little bit because it was really at the bottom. It was at 0 at that time before. So I think that's what kind of gave me the life. Ever since then, my beginnings, I have been growing. At times it's been slow, but I've kept going despite challenges, and I've been proving to myself that I can do a lot more than I think I can. I've made so many connections with people. It's just been a very beautiful experience. I felt like going to Trinidad and Tobago was that push that I needed to get out of my comfort zone, to open up new doors. It kind of gave me new life, new purpose, and gave me a lot more positivity. I can never thank God enough. I can never thank my family enough for supporting me through this whole journey, and helping me to do what I love. My friends have really been supportive of me, and I'm so grateful and amazed how much, you know, subscribers I have on YouTube now, almost 800. I never had imagined that happening for me. And also on Instagram, I've reached 900 something followers. I mean, for me, it means a lot, and I want to thank you guys as well for your support, for subscribing to me, for liking my videos. I'm just grateful for the whole experience. I'm happy also to be making this video right now because I had been feeling very down, very just sick for about 3 months now, and I'm just now starting to feel well enough to start filming again. And I mean, I can't promise you guys that I'm going to be making videos all the time, every week or whatnot, but I'm going to try to make more videos now that I'm feeling better. I hope you guys like this video. Thank you for subscribing and watching, and here's to many more years of doing henna and just loving it. Thank you and peace.
أميرات القرآن أغلى لحظات الإنسان حين